it just puts into perspective how much Las Vegas has changed even in the last 10 years, 20 years.
Yeah,
and
it's a lot.
Yeah, I used to have this coworker when I used to work at Radio Shack who would tell me she had photos of like maybe I think it was like the late 60s, early 70s of Las Vegas, and I don't know if you guys know where Bonanza and Bonanza and Eastern are at.
Yeah,
that was all desert. Like she would show me the photos. I was like, whoa,
Wow.
That's
this is nuts. And that was only like it was less than 40 years ago. At the time. But yeah, sorry, continue, guys.
Oh, yeah. Good.
I'm actually, I was going to say, I'm actually like a third generation Las Vegas native.
Really?
Yeah, so my grandfather and my dad were born here, but they were born in, well, now it's the Medical Arts Center, or it's just called where the Beat is?
Yeah.
That used to be a hospital.
Oh,
So they were actually
like a
born
real.
in there,
Man, that's so
like
trippy.
Wait,
legit hospital. They were
you say
actually
you're
born.
third generation?
Third generation. Now they've moved back and forth between here and Reno and Carson.
Right, but that's still like, if you're talking about third generation, that's, early 1900s, right? That's before there were, I don't know, were there any casinos that long ago? Like,
No, wasn't it just like a little cowboy town? Maybe.
Well, a lot of the casinos that were there back then aren't around anymore.
I'm pretty
thinking
ignorant.
about the 1900s.
I'm pretty ignorant. What was the first casino in Las Vegas that was ever? Do you guys know? Like, what was?
Oh, it would have been 1905. I feel like that's because we celebrated the
Damn,
centennial
for
in
reals?
2005. So I don't know if that was the first casino, but that's definitely when we.
Because I thought like 1940, like that's when 1930 they started building like casinos and all that.
Yeah.
Or something.
Whenever Frank Sinatra was around, that's when like it was
1930 maybe.
No, there was a big boom, absolutely around like the 40s, 50s.
Yeah.
But up until then, we were just kind of like a stop between Salt Lake and
Yeah.
LA. Yeah.
We should have just on the side note, we should have a historian to kind of tell us.
That would be tight.
Yeah,
Be
that would be
so
dope, just to learn about the history of Las Vegas.
Well, you can go to the old Mormon fort. It's still there. I don't know if you guys have seen that. It's on North Las Vegas Boulevard.
Yeah.
The old Mormon fort?
Yeah.
What's that?
It is like the first settlement here in Vegas.
Really?
Yeah. it's
I
still
thought
there.
it was that thing on is that thing all the way down Charleston, that Mormon church?
There's a
Or
bunch
was that
of
just
them. I heard that back in the day, like Las Vegas was run by the Mormon church.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
the
funded
the Mormon
everything.
church and the mafia, right?
Yeah.
Kind of an interesting matchup
a
there.
lot of funding. coming.
Well,
from
because if you go to like the corners of Las Vegas, you'll see these big old like chapels with the whatever their cross sign thing is. It's pretty dope, man. We have
Yeah.
one on the east side, and it's kind of like a landmark.
Because I seen that Vice documentary on it. They basically spoke about that, and that's where I learned like the Mormons were like funding all the mafia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's trippy.
And what was I gonna say? It's always interesting when you watch old movies like from the 80s or 70s, and you get to see like what Las Vegas looked like back in the day. And it's like, oh, that's not even there anymore,
Yeah.
We were watching a Corvette Summer, which is a Mark Hamill. It's like right after he did, was it Return of the Jedi, I think?
No, it was right after he did the first Star Wars.
Yeah, so the first Star Wars, he did A New Hope, and then he did this movie called Corvette Summer, and it's based in Las Vegas. So he's driving down what would be Fremont Street, so where Public Us is at, and where the Ferguson's downtown is. It's not there. It's just the original motels, but it's just really crazy to see how much
It's amazing to see that.
It's amazing. You can drive down that street, and it's so different.
Yeah.
That's why I always say, like, always save your photos and save your footage, because you never know when looking back, it might be like a national treasure to have stuff like that. Because I watch like sometimes I get into this like deep YouTube rabbit hole where I'm like, I wonder what Germans looked like in 1905, or what's the oldest video footage that's ever been captured.
Like that colored footage in like New York, and you're like,
have you guys? Side note, have you guys ever seen that video clip that's on YouTube? It's like I think they put a camera in San Francisco or near San Francisco, and they just had it going down this road, and you see all these people walking by it, and it's like some of the oldest
I've seen
footage.
one for New York. It was
It's
like
from
19.
New York one.
Yeah, I seen that New York one. I was like, whoa, this is trippy. It looked fake.
Peter
did.
Jackson.
Yeah,
Peter Jackson did a
this is
really
cool.
good documentary last year called "They Shall Not Grow Old," and it's basically a colorized, speed-corrected footage of World War I. And they also mixed in, they did Foley work and mixed in sound effects for.
That is so trippy.
all
When they
this old World War
recolored
I
an
footage.
entire thing. So they literally have to do frame by frame, right? Like literally just paint each frame.
It's
Frame by
incredible
frame.
because you see like old footage and it's
yeah.
kind of like sped up, because it's hand cranked, so you don't actually have the 24 frames a second. It's a little bit.
It's like 18 or 16 or something like that.
So they fixed it. I'm telling you, it's one of the best documentaries I've seen.
Ooh,
it really is.
Definitely gonna
Really
check that
good.
out.
I
Yeah,
put that on the list.
because you've never seen 100-year-old footage feel that real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's trippy watching anything that's that old, because you're like, man, these people
are dead.
And then their children and their children's children are probably dying. You know, like it's like,
they're all gone.
Definitely.
You know, it's so it almost feels like an alien planet, right? Because also like the architecture and everything that's around there is just a completely different world, and how much has been remodeled since.
Well, with the documentary that we're doing now, you know, it's kind of amazing to see like how much downtown has changed even in the last 6 years.
Absolutely.
Right.
You know,
and I think it's only going to get crazier.
Yeah.
You know, because right now we've talked about it with so many guests, is that we feel like the culture of downtown in Vegas, downtown period, is changing and evolving so fast that like you said, in like 5 or 10 years, there might be new buildings. You know what I mean? That, you know.
Yeah.
So getting back to your documentary, you guys were it was 2013. You guys were making this documentary, and what ends up happening?
Well, we didn't really start making the documentary until about 2 years ago. That's when we sat down and interviewed everybody. In the meantime, we were just trying to make the feature, and it just wasn't happening. But I was doing like freelance editing stuff on the side. Actually, I was doing if you go to I think it's the Atomic, or it might be at Rebar. I've done the videos for both of them, the ones that they show on their TV.
Oh.
So it was Atomic. They have a video playing that basically shows all these clips of old Vegas. And so that's kind of where I started really getting this fascination with like looking at old movies that, you know, document the past and show the things that we don't really have anymore.